Alright, hello my friends, hope you're all doing well. Welcome back, we've got more Wildfrost. It's been a little while since I did my last run, so I thought I would jump in. We have proven, I feel successfully, that the game isn't too hard, at least on the first run, which a lot of the Steam reviews were saying, but because I made a good deck, it's very possible that we can't beat our deck, since it has now become the boss of the mission. Let's take a look. I'm here in the hub area that you go to after the game, and I haven't really looked at any of these things yet, so let's see what they are. Let's click on this guy. We've got the tribe hall. The flags of each unlocked tribe will be displayed here. So it looks like we get multiple starting decks. That's kind of cool. But we still only have access to one right now. In here, we've got the pet hut. Unlock pets to start each run with. Check back once in a while to try out newly discovered pets. Alright, well, let's, do I have to, like, select this guy? No, okay. But currently we've unlocked Snoof, and I need to recall 3 companions to unlock the next one. Let's take a look at this thing. This is a daily challenge. I'm actually not going to look at this. I don't want to spoil late-game content for myself, and these daily challenges obviously tend to have late-game content. I'm assuming this is our way to go into the next mission. We've got here... The inventor will create new items if I get a 3-kill combo. Okay. That's not built yet. What's this? Oh, this shows us what our previous deck was, and so what the enemies will be. So we've got our overpowered buddy Foxy, who seems to have gained 10 health while turning to evil. Colonel, when hit, apply 2 shell. That's actually going to be really annoying as an enemy ability. The boss is just a big wall of stats, because we didn't upgrade her at all. And then Big Berry, also just stats, so shouldn't be too threatening as an enemy card. It's kind of nice that we can look at the boss at least. And then over here, we've got a bunch of achievements, which we don't have any of. Alright. Well, let's start another run. Alright. Modifier bells provide additional challenge for those brave enough. You can enable them before starting each run. Let's take a look at the... Some enemies will be upgraded with charms, and will drop more bling. Yeah, let's do a modifier bell. Alright, let's take a look at our options. Gain 1 block on kill. And that's on a 3-turn cooldown, the attack, so that is kind of cool. I like that ability a lot. Applying a snow on an attack, as we saw with Foxy last round, is pretty effective. This one also attacks twice, but is aimless. I don't think I like an aimless attacker as my leader, because there will be lots of enemies we probably don't want to hit. And then gain 2 attack on kill. I like Jabat as well, just for the 11 health, because that's a pretty relevant amount of health, but I think we're going to go with Koodle. It looks like these are randomly generated, maybe, the leaders, except maybe for the first time, and yeah, I'm going to start with the challenge mode, because I just want to see how that works, and if this is too hard for us, then it's too hard for us. Alright, we've got Koodle. I can rename, but let's not do that. Let's go! This journal belongs to Koodle. Alright, we're leaving Snow Dwell. Let's take a look at our deck again. We've got Flame Water, which increases... So it looks like we get random artifacts, and then we get the Scrappy Swords and Snow Sticks. We start with Snoof, and also have a blocker. This, I actually really like having this in our deck, so glad to see that there. Let's go battle the Penguins. Alright, this one counterattacks after taking a hit, so we'll try to hit that with not our leader. Yeah, Go Gong has a reaction effect, that's totally fine. I will probably just spend the turn just killing this penguin to start. Then, similarly, I'm going to... So, I have a choice here. I can either take 1 damage and then have Koodle attack back, or I can... But that would then force Koodle to attack the Gogong in a later round, so I actually don't want to do that. I could just develop Snoof here. I think we're going to do that. Take 1 damage, and then Koodle can attack. Trigger the block ability as well. Put Flame Water on boss just to use my turn. Now Snoof is going to attack, so Gogong should attack Koodle back, I believe. Let's drop the Woodhead. I'm trying to remember how counterattacking works. Okay, well, we didn't counterattack because we froze it, actually. I actually kind of wish I hadn't done that because I wanted to see how counterattacking worked. I would like to not have to waste one of these snow sticks before the enemy wave appears, but there's no way to just pass the turn in this game, so throw that out. And then we've got the Waddle Goons and the Gobbling. Escape from the battle, drop 4 whenever it's hit. So we're going to hit this guy for 4. We already have 1 block. We do want to use our Snow Stick on the Waddle Goons as soon as we can. Actually, I might just use that on the Gobbling to stop it from escaping, and we can farm it for gold 1 turn at a time. Let's use our redraw. Hitting this for 3, which means I can kill it with a scrappy sword. That seems pretty reasonable to do. There's some consideration to trying to farm the kill on our boss, but I don't think we need to do that. I could lower my countdown by 2 and have the boss just attack immediately, but let's just use a scrappy sword here. We'll hit the Goblin. I do want to save 1 freeze effect. Now I'll swap my boss up here. Actually, I guess I don't need to do that, but because it's still going to attack in the first row. Have the boss stack up another block. Let's also give my boss another attack, because I think I would rather have a 5 and a 3 than 2 4s. Gives us a few more options. Now we've stocked up a couple blocks. I want to spend my scrappy sword on the Goblin just to hit it once more, and we got 4 hits out of this Goblin, so I feel pretty good about that. Managed to get 16 cash from it. And then here comes Big Peng, the boss. So we've got a few Penguins. That's totally fine. I'm going to take a turn and count down my guy here. Does that attack immediately? Yes, so that attacks instantly if I count it down to 0. I do now have these on the same cycle, which isn't exactly what I wanted, but that's okay. These 3 attacks will block 1 here and then waste a block. I'm going to redraw into a scrappy sword to kill one of these Penguins just to save a block on our leader. I don't mind losing the Woodhead there. I mean, we've got so much block already, it's fine. I will pop up here to get this kill, and then this guy can hit him and freeze. I'll just use the sword to finish off the other Penguin. Then we can just stack freeze on the boss until the fight ends. So feeling really good about this first fight. We managed to collect a bunch of money. Now we should get a companion, if I remember correctly how this works. Treasure or companion. We will get a second companion down here. Charm. The Bling Snail Cave is just money. And then we get a battle. So I do want a charm, but I think getting 2 companions in the deck early on is pretty good. Let me check my deck. So the pet, I don't know if that takes a companion slot, and I don't know what our maximum number of companions is either. Oh, nice. We get to look at the final boss the whole time through the run. So I should be keeping in mind building ways to defeat the final boss as well. One thing that's nice is that these guys mostly don't have snow resist. The companions don't, so all we really have to deal with is ow snow. But let's go grab a companion here. Ooh, okay. Haven't seen... I think we saw Wallop, but chose not to take Wallop last round. Applies 1, Demonize. Doubles damage taken, counts down after taking damage. That's a cool ability. I don't know how relevant it is for our deck. That's better if you're doing large instances of damage. This one gives temporarily increases attack, and as we saw last run, this can be applied multiple times by multi-attacking allies, so that's very good to keep in mind. But it's on a 5-turn cooldown. I might just take Wallop as sort of a tank, because we do need someone who has the health to take a hit. It's funny, I get to have the card sort of spaz out a little. But I haven't tried Demonize, so in the interest of trying a new mechanic, I think I'm going to grab Demona. And then we'll look for a tank with our next Traveler, which is going to be this one. Alright, what are our options here? We've got a healer, that's kind of neat to have. Freeze all enemies on a 4-turn cooldown, and Blunky, when deployed, gain 1 block, and then it attacks for 1 on a 2-turn cooldown. I do really like having a 2-turn cooldown. We didn't get a tank, unfortunately. So I might go with... We could stack our blocks. So we've got block on kill, double damage. None of these also do high damage instances, which is the other thing I was sort of looking out for. Bonnie at 3 health with the 2 heal, but it is 2 to all allies. I'm still not, I think, super interested in that because we have such low health on our units. So I think we're deciding between Blunky and Snuffle here. Let's go with... I mean, freeze all enemies is such a powerful effect, and we already have a cooldown reducing effect in our deck. I think it's hard to turn this guy down. Alright, and let's see if we can take on the Frost Shades. Okay, so this guy temporarily reduces attack. Trigger when an ally in the row attacks, and it attacks for 2 and deals 4 back to attackers, so we'll try to kill that with a sword. And then this one hits all targets in the row, so we definitely need to stop the Porcupine from attacking. So let's drop our unit in. So we've got 3 turns, 4 turns. I should probably start ticking down my units, though. We do have a sword to kill this Mimic. Mimic only has 1 scrap, so even though it only takes 1 damage from any attack, that's still okay. But let's develop Snuffle here. I think I'm okay taking 1 hit from the Frostinger if I want, you know, if I need to as well. I could develop a unit here. So, for example, I could develop a unit and then I could use my Sunrod on Snuffle to delay the Frostinger for a round. That would, because I believe ticking it down to 0 would make it trigger instantly, rather than waiting for the enemies to attack first. Normally enemies go first. That would also delay the Porcupine by 1 turn. I could also just kill the Mimic this turn. I could freeze the Frost Stinger to prevent it from attacking. I think developing my companions is just good overall, so we're going to drop Demona. So now what I'm curious about is if I use the Sunrod here, does that cause it to trigger before these attacks? So in the interest of learning the mechanic, I'm going to try that. Okay, yeah, so ticking it down to 0 does cause it to apply immediately, so that's good to know. We can also use that with this to make an incoming attack stronger. What we want to do here, I think, is freeze. So let's see, if I reduce this to... If I get this attack reduced to 2, then... I mean, I could also just tank it on Demona, who doesn't actually... Or either of these guys who don't actually attack. I think that's going to be the strongest, and let's kill the Mimic so that it doesn't attack as well. Now we've got a Frost, but that doesn't matter because all this thing does is apply the Demonize anyways. Then I definitely need to freeze this Porcupine. When active, add 3 attack to all allies. Okay. So this will get 1-shot. This triggers when an ally in the row attacks. I could drop the Woodhead, but that doesn't actually do anything for the Porcupine who's the big threat, so I think we're going to redraw here. I do want to get Snoof out as well. We will be adding a freeze to that with Snoffle. We've got Poodle, who's going to kill this Frostinger, because the damage is doubled. So, I believe we're safe to spend a turn developing a unit here. Have a block. Enemies are frozen for one more turn. This still does apply even when it's frozen, so that's good to know. The WoW active ability still applies. Let's place this double damage on the Porcupine, and then I can kill it with Snoof, although that means I will need to either freeze it again or tick it down one more. This guy will attack. I could kill the Ice Lantern. I could hit the Goblin as well, possibly with a freeze. I think we are going to have to apply a freeze to the Porcupine no matter what, so let's just spend the turn doing that for now. Then we demonize it. Now Snoof will kill it. If I hadn't done that, then the Porcupine would have gotten to attack, which is obviously very bad. Currently, the only enemy who's in danger of attacking anytime soon is this Frostinger. I could also just spend a turn Sunrodding Snoffle to decrease the cooldowns. I could Sunrod Koodle and have Koodle attack the Porcupine, getting the kill, and then I actually gain another block. And then Snoof can hit the Goblin just for the money. So yeah, let's do that. Now we kill that immediately, go up to 2 block. This I don't mind attacking. I should probably kill the Mimic if we're allowing it to attack. I don't mind taking a damage reduction on this character either at the moment. So we're going to be doubling the damage, freezing everything, and then hitting something for 2. So let's actually hit the Goblin for 2. And then I can Scrappy Sword it and gain an additional... Or I could Flame Water my boss, actually. And that would allow us to gain an additional block. It means 1 fewer hit on the Goblin, but I don't actually think I mind that. For 4 money, it's pretty marginal at this point. We have 160 already. So we're going to buff our boss back up to 3. Alright, when hit, apply 2 Frost to a random enemy. 5 turn cooldown, 8 attack. This Porcupine is the most dangerous thing. This guy, we also can reduce its... We can reduce stuff by having this die, but let's have Snoof come up here and bring this guy down to 2. And then freeze it again. I think that's probably good. Do I just want to Scrappy Sword something, or should I be redrawing into a more useful effect at this point? I think we don't actually care about any of about the damage at this point. We just want to start applying snow to things. So let's snow stick the Porcupine, who's the most dangerous enemy. To start stacking that immediately. Bringing this down to 2 sets it up for our boss to kill it. So I could either use the Sunrod to do that, or I could just start dealing damage. I could also develop the Woodhead. I think we probably want to start having the barrage go off, or stop the barrage from going off, either by reducing cooldown on Snoffle, or by just killing the Porcupine. Let's do reduce cooldown. Freezing everything for 1 turn is pretty nice here. Then if I go over here, I can kill this Ice Lantern and gain a 3rd block. I can apply this debuff to the Frost Stinger, and then we can set that up to die in 1 hit to something later on. In the meantime, I'm just going to start pinging down the Porcupine. So we've now stacked up to 3 blocks here. This can deal 6 and apply to Frozen if we want to do it that way, which I think is totally reasonable to do, so let's just keep... do I want to get hit by this guy for 1? I could lose a block, I could also just take 1 point of health on Demona. I think it's totally fine to just take 1 point of health. Here, we get the or the Frost on Demona, but that's fine. We're actually really well set up against this boss because of so many of our companions don't actually deal damage, so the Frost just doesn't matter at all. Like, for example, I could just tank this again. And then, yeah, I think we'll do that, and we'll use the Scrappy Sword to finish the Porcupine. I can heal my companions by recalling them. I should look for an opportunity to recall 3 companions, because that was one of our quests in the starting zone. So I might actually just do that with Demona this turn, because the Demonize doesn't matter that much. Doubling the damage to the boss would be pretty useful, though. But I think it's totally fine to do this. We'll recall, and then I can play this Woodhead to tank a shot. Gaining yet another block. Snoof is going to kill the Frost Stinger, so let's cycle our deck. Probably just develop Flame Water on Poodle here. Actually, maybe I should recall Snoffle as well. And use this fight to farm that achievement. Since this fight is basically over, I will probably be doing that. So let's recall, and then we'll just take a turn off to redraw. I mean, this fight couldn't be more over. We have 4 blocks, and this thing attacks only every 4 turns. So then we'll replay a companion. Hit it, we lose 2 health, but that's fine. And then I will replay a companion before recalling again. Or not 2 health, 2 damage. Alright, getting double frosted on Koodle, that's totally okay. I'm gonna spend the turn to recall Snoffle, get that achievement going, and then we will just sword him. It reduces my damage to -1. So if I hit him, does he gain health? I guess that's good. That's something that's useful to pay attention to. I'm gonna spend the turn redrawing, probably. No, we'll sunstick, because we can redraw for free next turn. Alright, he does not gain health if you hit him with negative attack. Most games don't work like that, but it's good to know. Then we'll replay our companion. We tank that on a block. And then we'll just finish off this boss. Alright, it was only a 1-part boss, which is good. Because I guess that was the mini-boss for the stage. Okay, we get another companion for sure. We get a charm or a treasure. Treasure is just a card. Let's definitely do the charm. I think charms are super powerful in this game. So I'm not sure what our companion limit is. I don't know where you see that, but let's see, we've got Little Berry, who's like Big Berry, but gets damage when healed. We didn't take the healer. When an enemy is killed, apply 3 to the attacker, Shelly, or a 5-turn cooldown, apply to Shroom. We're not stacking Shroom, but I did want a high health guy, so I think it's between either Little Berry or Fun Gun. Given that we have no ways to heal in our deck currently, I think I'm going to take this guy. Just the ability to tank a hit on a unit, I think, is going to be pretty powerful. Okay, you can reserve companions in my deck pack at any time. Alright, well for now, let's swap out Fun Gun, just because being on a 5-turn cooldown is a long time. Okay, continue. There we go. And there were ways to increase our companion limit, so that we saw in the last run. Alright, the Goat Charm. Apply 1 Demonize. So we could apply 2 Demonize to Demona. We could also apply a Demonize to something else. I could also put Demonize on Snowstick or a Scrappy Sword. That could be really valuable. Ooh, I could also apply 1 Demonize to all enemies. Alright, let's put this on Snoffle. So now he's doing 1 Freeze and 1 Demonize. Oh, I think this maybe still just only applies to the first enemy in the row. Apply 1 to all enemies. Dang, okay, well, that didn't work the way I thought it would, but we're now stacked on Demonizes. Alright, let's see what card we get. We could get our own Mimic, apply 2 Spice, and it hits all targets in the row, or the Palm Bomb, which we saw last round, dealing 5 to all undamaged enemies. That could be kind of cool with our Demonize effect, because that's a 10 damage attack. I like a way to hit the back line, so I think we're going to go with the Palm Bomb. Not, I think, a great pack for us, but just 5 damage to the back line can be pretty valuable. Alright, let's see what we've got. Increase attack by 2, Barrage, and Consume, hitting all targets in the row. A Charm, Vending Machine, a Crown. I think we should always buy the Crown. And I'm going to put that on Snoffle. Wait. Here we go. Then I could either buy applying 2 Frost with a Barrage, apply 4 Snow, apply 2 Heal. Having a way to heal seems pretty good. Just any sort of little heal effect adds a lot of dimensions to our deck. Applying 4 Snow, reduced by 1 when played. I don't think I like this one very much. You don't really want those to be reduced over time. Increase attack by 2, Barrage, Consume. This is pretty useful, given that we have some 0 attack allies, but sometimes I do actually like having them at 0 attack. I think I will get the Berry Basket, and I'm going to buy a Charm. That would leave us with not quite enough, but we could maybe get the Storm Globe. Let's get the Charm and see what we get. The Lumen Ring. Boost effects by 1. Okay, what does boost effects by 1 mean? So would this then get 2 blocks on kill? Apply... Can I can't right-click this to see what this actually would do. Let's try this and see if that does 2 blocks on kill, because that would be really nice. Yes, okay, perfect. So gaining 2 instances of block on a kill. Oh, I should probably put it on Snoffle then, because then it would be 2 freeze to all enemies, but I wasn't 100% certain how this would work. So then I can either get a Snow Globe, do a Charm Machine, or do nothing. This will end up being a dead card after a few rotations. Until then, for the first 2 rotations, it's mostly just better than the Snow Stick. So I think this is worth having in the deck, and then we can continue onwards. Alright, not a great shop again, and I would like us some card removal as well. Our deck is getting a little bloated because I bought 2 cards and picked one up. But we had fought Bamboozle last time. The Winter Worm, when hit, reduce attack by 1, so we've seen this guy before. The Snowbow does 2 damage to something in a row, and the Bamboozle is the really dangerous one, hitting all enemies. But let's get our starting units out. First things first, we're just going to develop our team. The snowbow, I don't think we care about that much. I do want to definitely freeze the winter worm soon, although it's a little better because we have this. So let's spend one turn developing damage on Koodle. Take one hit, that's totally fine. Let's make sure we're applying the Demonize before doubling, or doubling the damage before attacking. In the meantime, I'm going to Snow Globe this Winter Worm to stop it from attacking again. So we did 8 there. Now going to apply a Demonize and also freeze everything. I'm pretty happy to just have the Snowbow attacking every round. That's totally fine. But I will use a Snow Stick. Oh wait, no, I shouldn't have done that. That was wasted because now the snow ticks down after it was applied again by Snoffle. So definitely a mistake there. I could reshuffle going for another companion, but I think we're just going to Snow Stick this guy again. Really don't want him to attack, because he'll kill my Snoffle. Now we do the redraw. While damaged, attack is increased by 3. We don't really care about that either. We can double damage, and then we will kill Bamboozle, but I believe this is a boss that splits. I could also just kill everything with the Pom Bomb. Also, to note, we didn't apply the double damage to everything. And then, in fact, I ate the double damage effect with my 1 damage attack. So, a few misplays this round. But the Pom Bomb just clearing out the back row seems pretty important right now, so let's start with that. I could also do that next round and develop Snoof this round, but next round I am going to need to do something about the attacker. So if I develop Snoof into Bamboozle, it'll just get hit, which is pretty bad. I could redraw this turn, looking for a freezing effect. Really hurting me that I wasted that 1 turn of freeze. Oh wait, this guy's gonna die this turn, so that's okay. So let's play Snoof, because what's gonna happen is this guy will die and split into 2 units, and then the Pom Bomb will hit both of those units next round. Because we're doubling the damage, hitting it for 8. It is split. And so now these tick down. This does 2 damage and freezes. They're both wild, so they gain Frenzy when other wild cards are killed. That's okay for us for now. We're going to play this Pom Bomb to clear out the back rows. Got a big combo there, and gained a lot of money as well, which is kind of fun. So this guy has, he has a charm, so he's worth extra money because of our Dread Bell effect. Now, I can get a freeze on all enemies. This guy has the freeze resist, but this guy doesn't. Currently doing 2 damage and applying 1 freeze. I think the one that so I could block it with the Woodhead. I could also move some stuff around. I think we're going to block it. So let's take a look at how we want things positioned, because as soon as I put this down, our turn will end. This guy's freezing both of these, so I think I want Snoof to hit this guy to freeze him twice, which means I need to then move my boss up to here, and then we will place the Woodhead down here. Tank that hit, then we get 2 freeze on this guy and 1 freeze on everything else. Here I could do 4 damage, doubled to 8 damage, which doesn't kill it, but brings it quite low, and we want to kill these both at the same time so they don't double attack. So let's just Scrappy Sword this guy. Basically passing the turn there just to get my redraw. Then I can finish this off. I think that's fine. We can redraw into more freeze or whatever next round. That guy gets the wild. A couple more things come in, but that's totally fine. Snoof is going to end the round. on this attack. So let's just heal up, just to spend our turn, and this should end the fight. Okay, so I could increase my companion limit to get my poisoner in. I could also get the redraw bell counter, or the card draw +1. I think I'm going to try to get the poisoner in, because I really do want my card that I picked to be worth something. And we're going to be trying to strip our deck a little lower soon. I think that this redraw bell counter is extremely powerful, though, so I think the right choice, and maybe once we played this game a little more, I would make this decision differently. All right. Well, that was pretty clean, so I think we're going to play the second map as well. Let's get our guy back in. Probably do the first 2 maps and then go to the next map in... Okay, so I do want the next map in a future video. Let's either get 2 treasures or 2 companions. I don't think I really want 2 more companions. They would just have to sit in reserve. And while we could maybe get ones that are better, I think it's still better to just get cards. We could also just skip, I believe. So while active, all allies retain spice. We have no way to produce spice, so we don't care about that. Trigger when spice reaches 10, destroy self. So that's a way to do a bunch of cool stuff. I think I don't want any of these, probably. I guess I could take this one just because it has 2 block. Like, is it worth it to just have a 2 blocking totem? It's basically just a twice as good woodhead, but we are now running out of spots on our board. Let me out. I think that is worth it. It does slightly increase our card quality, although again this deck is getting very bloated, so that could easily be a mistake. While active, add +3 to allies in the row. That's a nice one. But this is just 12 freeze and consume. I'm definitely in for the Snow Cake. Super powerful, just locks down a dangerous enemy forever, basically. Alright, let's take a look at the shop. Apply 1 to a random ally, 1 to a random enemy. This, the Hongo's Hammer, we had this last time, which gives us a little bit of synergy with our Fun Gun guy. Because right now, he's really not doing very much for us, given that it'll be like 3 or 4 poison. But if you can stack it up to 6 poison or something like that, that becomes much more efficient. We're 2 money short of a crown also, which is pretty bad. But let's, I think, just go with a charm here. I really wish I could have afforded that crown. Alright, yank. Pull target to the front. Let's equip that now, and I'll equip it onto... I could put it on a snow stick or a scrappy sword. Obviously, it doesn't do anything on any of these guys that don't hit the back row. A scrappy sword that can pull an enemy to the front, I think, is a nice option to have. So I'm gonna put the charm on that, and then we can just remove our other 2 scrappy swords. Alright, slightly bad chop because we were 2 money short, but let's go take our battle. Okay, haven't seen this encounter before, so 2 health, 6 shell, blocks damage, apply 1 demonize, gain 2 shell on a 4-turn cooldown, 5-turn cooldown, and then this is the dangerous one, 3-turn cooldown, and heals all allies. Oh no, actually, heals all allies, but only does 2 damage to me, so that's not as bad. Here I've got my yank, so I could pull this forward, which I actually might do if we had a way to deal extra damage. You can see that here's the problem with our deck being so weak right now, or so bloated right now, is that the extra damage that we... the companions that we have in our deck are deep in the deck, and so don't start in play, and we also didn't have the crowns. Crowns are also good as deck thinning. so both of those things are working against us right now. I think this deck is much worse built than my last deck currently. I think pulling this to the front is still going to be valuable, though, so let's do that. Then I'm going to freeze it, and that will allow our boss to get a kill against it. Then I'm just going to place this out where it can start blocking attacks. So now we can let this block. We also have 2 blocks on our boss, which is really powerful. And then this will freeze everything, which is totally reasonable for us. Gain additional damage equal to, or deal additional damage equal to shells. Okay, so I really don't want this guy to hit something important. But let's start by just sorting the... Actually, let's just develop the woodhead for now. Because this one's going to hit for 12, but that's okay. I could either use my scrappy sword or just use my redraw. I think I'm going to use my redraw to start developing my other companions. This also gets us a lot of freeze, and these palm bombs do work on enemies with shell, which is the theme of this encounter. Develop Snoof here. This is all fine. I think I will just use the palm bomb, though. Is there any way that I can... So that would deal 10 to this, because it's doubled, thanks to the Demonize. I could then try to trigger the 2 block, but I think that's okay. I don't think we need to do that this round. And there's no good way to do that, really. This is also just too valuable against all of these undamaged enemies, I think. Explodes that, we deal 3 there. We lose the woodhead, but that's fine. Fury 3, deal additional damage while alone in a row. Okay. This guy will escape eventually as well, but let's for now just develop Demona. I don't really want this to heal, so I could, or to increase the damage, to provide shell to all enemies, so I could use a snow stick on it to kill it. I could use the snow cake on it, but I think we're going to save that for a powerful enemy later on in the fight. It's a bit of a waste using a freeze on this, but I like to just get it off the board before it goes off. Everything is frozen, so I can redraw, but we do have a companion to develop, or I could use Flame Water. Right now, this is demonized, so we're getting 2 more blocks on our boss, which I do like stacking up early. I think I'm going to spend this turn developing the Flame Water, mostly because I want the Snow Cake in hand. Now, so if I have... Enemies don't arrive for 2 turns, so we still won't get the Snow Cake in hand for the next wave. So let's actually spend this turn developing our Poisoner, just to get that cooldown ticking down. Snoof will kill this. We are taking 4 here. We do have the Palm Bomb that can clear the Pecan. I don't think we really care about the 4 from the Goblin, but we could also block, or we could have Fun Gun tank this hit. It is 4 damage, but increases its poison. We could also use Poodle, or we could use our Totem to block it. But I think taking 4 is relatively safe here. That lets me get 4 more money as well, which is not irrelevant. Now this guy's applying 3, and then the final round comes in. So we've got this guy. He's not immune to freeze, interestingly, for an elite encounter or a boss encounter. Heals everything, so I feel like this is another one that's just going to be a very easy encounter. I could use my Palm Bomb to clear this Pecan. I guess that's worth doing. Alright, we can stack up another block here, double damage here, double damage again here if I swap this guy down here. And then I'm also going to freeze it now. Before it gets hit. So this is after taking damage. So my freeze attack's for 0, so that won't tick down the Demon Eyes. It's nice to know that that won't be wasted. And then similarly, the Fun Gun shouldn't waste the freeze either. Let's sword this Shell Witch, just get it off the field. One fewer thing to think about. It did take 6 from the poison, I think. Is there a combat log here? Yeah, so it takes 6, so the poison does eat the Demon Eyes. So that's something that's important to know, and also a little bit of anti-synergy in our comp, I think. That said, that doesn't matter for this round, or for this fight. I'm gonna tick this guy down because stacking up more poison quicker is better. Then let's just develop the Flame Water. I should have positioned that a little differently so that my boss killed this guy, the Bulgo. But the Bulgo, I believe, we'll see if it splits into multiple enemies, but for now I'm just going to spend this turn healing. Alright, and that was the end of the fight. So it looks like only bosses are 2 stages, and the elite in the middle of a run is only 1. Okay, we definitely want the Munter, and we can't avoid getting another companion. So I would rather get removing things than charms. So let's see if we have... I guess we have to pick up a treasure first. But we will see what our companion is. See if we have one that's better than our existing ones. While active, add 2 to items in my hand. So we had this in our last run. That gave my Pom Bomb 7 instead of 5 damage, which is pretty relevant. It can also block an attack. When an enemy is killed, gain 4 money. That's some nice economy. And then, but does take up a board slot, which we are a little bit short on. Again, just strictly better than our Woodhead, though. And the Berry Blade is some nice healing. Can be useful with Fun Gun, especially, but is only 3 damage. I think I'm going to focus on... I think I will still take the Berry Blade, just to heal our front unit, and then let's go grab another companion. See if there's something better than that. Better than what we have right now. Apply 2 poison, aimless, and attacks twice on a 3-turn cooldown. That is kind of cool, Wart. If they both hit the same thing, it's obviously much better than if it hits 2 different things. Chom-Pom. Deal additional damage equal to Shell, so that deals 4 damage on a 3-turn cooldown and effectively has 6 health, but loses some health if it takes a hit. When an enemy is killed, apply 3 Shell to the attacker. This we don't really want. We don't have any Shell synergies. So the question is, do we want Poison synergy more? Do we want this ability more just as a decent attacker? I think I'll take the Chom-Pom, but I'm not going to start it right now. We could cut Demona for it. I think Demona is our weakest, but I'm really interested in seeing how this Demon Eyes ability works out. So let's drop Chom-Pom down here for now. And if we decide we just aren't getting any value out of the Demon Eyes, we can swap him back in. Yes, we will feed the Munter. So let's cut 1 Scrappy Sword. And then I could either cut this Woodhead or a second Scrappy Sword. We do now have the Berry Blade as a basic damaging effect. I think right now I'm going to cut the second Scrappy Sword. Don't really want too many just basic small direct damage effects in a deck, I think. Useful to have 1 to kill a priority target, but more than that I think is usually going to be wasted. I should really be paying attention to keeping 80 in my inventory, 80 cash in my inventory, to be able to get crowns at shops. I think crowns are sort of one of the most important effects. They thin your deck and start you with a huge advantage on board. Alright, let's place out our guys. This fight, I remember being a little bit difficult. We've got the Woolly Drek, who won't split. That's the next enemy that we summon will eventually split. We've got this guy who attacks for 2. Not too worried about that. Absorb is take their health and effects and status effects. And then the Bigfoot, we can never let the Bigfoot attack. But let's drop Snoof out first. I think I'm okay just tanking 2 damage. I could use a freezing effect, but I'm not too worried about that. I could also just Sunrod Snoffle, for example, here. Starting to get that out early seems pretty powerful as well. I could just play the Palm Bomb, just a decent amount of damage, but I might want to save that in hand for when the next enemy wave spawns. So I think the first thing that we're going to do is just Flame Water Koodle. I'd like to get that developed early. Now we will deal 7 to the Bigfoot, so the Palm Bomb would kill it. Given that, I think that's worth doing. We do waste a freeze from Snoof, but that's okay. Oh, wait, they've got teeth. Oh no, I wasn't paying attention, and lost. Amazing. Alright, that shows the importance of reading the card. Alright, well, I was worried that this video would be going a little long, but that fight got cut off very shortly because I clearly don't read cards. I didn't see that that unit had an effect that applied damage back, so I guess we're going back to town. Anyways, I know you've all been screaming at your screens while I was calculating all that out, completely ignoring the effect on the cards. But I hope you enjoyed the video anyways. We'll be back with another run another time. So definitely not keeping my win streak here, but thank you for watching, my friends. And of course, if you have enjoyed the video, let me know. Let me know that you'd like to see me continue to play this game. I don't know what games people want to see unless I get comments on them. Obviously, I have no way of telling that unless people say, hey, play this game, I'm enjoying it. And also, if you comment, it juices the algorithm. So yeah, and always, of course, subscribe to the channel for more of this, and I will catch you next time. Cheers, folks. GG.